right? Jamming on a Friday afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. So it's Friday. I'm a little under the weather. I won't take any responsibility for it. I will blame it on the weather, and then I'll also blame it on my little Bambino, my bundle of joy, because she is sick. And so when she gets sick, I get sick because she likes to sneeze in my face. Nevertheless, though, she persisted, and here we are on another episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. So that's the name that we ended up picking collectively. So let me know if you're still liking this name. Let's try it out, see how it fits, see if it matches the vibe and makes sense, and then let's take it from there. So welcome. I am your host, Dorothy McBride. I am one half of the whole here at the LipLock firm. So I'm the co-founder of LipLock along with my partner and business bestie, Shayla Bernardo. And I'm also the principal and founder of The Communication Strategist. And we have been getting together Friday afternoons for a break around the water cooler, the bubbler, just a break on your computer or your phone to talk all things leadership and development. Because, well, I am your personal change agent. So this episode is the Structured Susan episode in the spirit of the theme for this next bundle of episodes, which is consistency will get you everywhere. So last week in this series, we talked about distractions and how sometimes we get in our own way. We'd like to always think the distractions are external, but sometimes they are happening right up in here, and we are our biggest distractions, which can get in the way of us making progress at our 9 to 5 or our 5 to 9. So as your personal change agent, I am tasked with helping all of us, myself included, get in alignment and get on the bandwagon of making magic. Hi, Tamira. Hey, girl. Hello, outspoken wifey. Welcome, welcome, because we are on the book and we are on the gram live taking a break because the 9 to 5 grind is real. So for this break time, we're going to be talking about adding a little bit more structure into our mix, even if we aren't the most structured person. So we'll be dropping some great tips and tricks for the business besties. So don't forget to share this video if you've got a pal that you think could benefit from this content. So there's going to be 4 things that I'm going to chat with you about today during our little break. So first one, which we talked a little bit about it last week, but the first piece in adding a little bit more structure to our mix, especially if it's not our natural go-to, really for my creatives, whether we're in a corporate setting or working for ourselves, sometimes adding structure is the hardest thing to do. But when we don't have structure, we feel the burn because we forget to do something, we were late, we notice that things are falling through the cracks, and we run into all of these challenges all because we don't have processes and procedures in place, whether it's that we're shying away because we don't like all that, or in some instances we just don't even know to do it, but we keep getting burned and we're not sure why. So tip number 1, which we also covered last week, batching your work. But when you're batching, to go into a little bit more detail, if you tuned in last week, is looking at all the work that needs to be done that's similar, but then adding a ranking. So let's say that I've got 2 things to do. I need to prepare for 2 presentations or trainings that I'm going to be facilitating. And then I also need to write 3 articles. I need to look at which ones are most critical and most important and then rank it in order so that I'm getting the essential things done at the beginning and then working my way down the list. But the reason why we're batching is so that our brain can stay in the zone instead of us having to make a gigantic shift to go think about something else. So for example, if I'm working on the workshops, might as well work on them together. But if I have another workshop that maybe I've done it before, but I'm not doing it for another 6 months, that's not going to be in the essential category of what I have to get done this week, because that isn't scheduled for 6 months from now. Even though I'm working on workshops, I got to get the essential items done earlier so that I can meet my deliverables. Then after I work on the workshops, then I'm going to work on my articles, because now my brain has time to take that 40 minutes. We would like to think that we're a lot faster, but we're really not. We're going to take about 40 minutes to mentally make that shift and totally switch gears into this next set of tasks. So batching our work together is one way to add structure to our mix if it's not our jam. So you might be thinking, yeah, but how does batching add structure? I'm so glad you had that thought, because I had the same thought. But here's the thing. If we're going to batch our work, that means that we've got to do some preparation in advance. I always like to say successful people prepare for Monday. Then that means successful people prepare for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. So here's the thing. If we're batching our work, that means we're doing some legwork ahead of time and being super deliberate about where we're going to spend our time. So this leads into my second point, which is calendar, 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 especially for my entrepreneurs, and especially my entrepreneurs who have recently done the jump. I feel like that's what they call it when you go from corporate to working for yourself. I feel like that's the term, the jump. So if you've made the jump, the reason why you want to become best friends with your calendar is because I feel like when you start working for yourself, a lot of times, a lot of the structure that you're used to that's automatically built into the corporate arena goes away. And so oftentimes we may say, you know what, I'm going to be in my pajamas all day, or I'm going to eat breakfast at 3 o'clock, but I've been up since 6, or whatever. Like, I feel like, and myself included, no, I'm not going to eat at 3 and not eat at all. But I find that a lot of the structure that I was used to when I had a 9 to 5, it just disappeared. Boop. Do you like that? I enjoyed that little sound. So here's the thing. I realized a couple months in that I needed to start calendaring out my day so that I know exactly where I'm spending my time, and so that I can batch my work to maximize being in that genius zone. So calendar, calendar, calendar. Now, if you are already inclined to be structured, you may calendar down to 15-minute increments. I'm not there yet. It's a journey that I guess we'll be on together. So I usually calendar chunks of time. And my next step in the calendaring process is to get even more accurate. Because sometimes I don't allocate enough time, which is no bueno. And then sometimes I allocate too much time. So then you're not really maximizing your time. So I'm finding, right, that I'm still having to always make adjustments in my calendar. So I will know that I have gone further on the structured Susan journey when I am more accurate with how long it's going to take me to do something during my desk work day. So calendar, calendar, calendar. And if you're wondering where did the structured Susan come from, that's my mom's middle name, and she's very structured. She is very like, so that she was the inspiration for the title. Okay, so first was batching of the work. Second, calendar, calendar, calendar. Third, create templates. Because the more process and procedure that you can add into your mix, I know for those of us who hate structure, we're just like, oh, we're wilting. But here's the thing. How often do you find yourself creating an email that you've already sent 100 times to 100 different people, answering some of the same questions? Maybe you design wedding invitations, and all of your brides are always asking you the same questions. How soon can we get the invitations out? What happens if the invitations get returned because the address was wrong? And then do you have all the color schemes to really customize and match to my wedding? Let's say all of your brides ask you all of these same questions. Why spend the time manually typing that out when you could create a template that is your frequently asked questions. Or you could create a follow-up template after you meet someone at a networking event. Instead of saying, hey, Susan, it was so great to meet you. I wanted to just circle back and let you know who I am and what we talked about, and here's a great book that you could look at. Have that already written. And then you're just customizing the template instead of rewriting everything. But when we have these templates, it streamlines the process. And I discovered HubSpot. I don't know if you've heard of HubSpot before, but I did discover HubSpot. And when it comes to customer management and engagement and really getting down to the bottom line, which is making money, HubSpot has all of these pre-designed templates that you could like integrate into your email account. I'm sick. I apologize. So that might be something to look into as well as we really start to embrace creating templates. And that's just one small piece. I think that having process and procedure built into how we do our business, even if we have a 9-to-5, because a lot of corporations now really value you running you as a business within the company. So if we can have templates to really streamline and ensure all of our customers and clients get the same experience, why not? Now, here's the thing, is we're adding structure into our mix. We're going to have to put in that time. We're going to have to put it in our calendar and put in that time up front to then create these templates. So instead of going super, super crazy, maybe we start with 2 or 3 templates. Maybe it's the follow-up template, maybe it's the frequently asked questions template, and then maybe something else that you find yourself responding to people all the time with the same stuff, and you're always retyping it. And then that's your 3rd template, and then just try it out. Try it out, see how it's working, see if it's streamlining your experience. And then the last piece, time warp. For my folks who are not the most structured individuals in the world, talking to myself, I feel, oh my God, I feel like I am always getting stuck in a time warp. And I look up at the clock and I'm like, what happened? Where did the time go? What is happening in my life? So there are a couple processes or tidbits that I want to just toss out there that I also do and have tried, and then let me know how it's working. So number A/1 is Sunday work. So something that I implemented when I was still at my corporate job was something that I called Sunday work. And I know some of you are like, yee, not Sunday work. But here's the thing. A lot of people have Sunday blues anyway because they're getting anxious about work. Might as well do the work and then knock out those Sunday blues. So Sunday work for me was taking 2 hours to review everything that I had done the week before to make sure with her unstructured self that I didn't miss anything. Is there somebody that I forgot to reach out to? Is there somebody that I needed to check in with and I owed them something? Is there somebody I've been meaning to follow up with and I didn't? And the Sunday work is what I spend my time to do to put bows on things and close the loop. Because what you'll find is if you have gal pals who are like structured and their brain just works that way, they always put a nice little bow on everything. And you're just like, but how? Show me your ways. Show me the sorcery that you perform. And because my brain just doesn't work that way, I have to have these different processes in place so that I, so that I'm not always dropping the ball because my brain is just like squirrel, we're all over the place. So Sunday work has proven to be really helpful. Then also preparing your schedule. So on Sunday and or throughout the week, you want to prepare your schedule ahead of time and review it. So I know for me, especially early on in my career, again, some of these things sound like, Dorothy, who's not checking their schedule? Her, and so I know if I'm doing it, I know other people are doing it. And so really getting intimate with your calendar and then reviewing it the night before. I cannot tell you how many times I've checked my calendar and someone has scheduled a meeting and it's going to be at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, no. But had I not checked it, I would have missed the meeting, right? And then that's when your phone is like buzzing, like you have a meeting in 15 minutes, and you're looking around like, what is happening? So again, becoming really intimate with your calendar and being super diligent about it, and checking right before you go to, well, maybe, I mean, some people like totally unplug. So before it's time to unplug, checking the calendar. And then something that I do too, this is probably because I'm not structured. I check my calendar when I wake up just to make sure that there's nothing new on there and to make sure that there's nothing that I missed. I just want to make sure that I'm like corporate jujitsu, tying up the loose ends. And then last but not least, arriving 7 minutes early. This is still a work in progress for me, because I always make it a goal to be on time. But in my mind, on time is right when it starts, which I think for a lot of people is technically late. But something that I want us to add into our mix is arriving 7 minutes early. And you might be saying, why 7 versus 5? Our brain tends to latch on to strange numbers, right? So instead of telling people, oh, you've got a 10-minute break, you can say you have a 12-minute break. And instead of saying be back at 6:10 from the break, come back at 6:12, so that people can really latch on to those strange numbers, because that's not how it would normally be positioned. So avoiding the time warp and the Lemony Snicket's experience, Sunday work, preparing for your schedule and reviewing it, and making an attempt to arrive 7 minutes early. So there is a giveaway today. This is the theme. The theme is consistency will get you everywhere. Today's episode was the Structured Susan. As we're all, well, I don't know about you, but I know I'm on this journey to become more structured and having more process and procedure in place. So today's giveaway is from yours truly, your personal change agent, Dorothy McBride, is a 20-minute sit down / coaching with me about any topic that we've covered on Day to Day with Dorothy up to this point, or anything that we've covered, we being me. I can't speak for Shayla, but anything that I've talked about on the Business Besties, which is our podcast. So you might be saying, ooh, 20 minutes of free coaching / sit down / gal pal bonding. Who doesn't want that? So here's how you win. Even if you're watching the replay, you're still eligible. All you have to do is share this video. Then you need to write in the comments, shared it, so that I know that it was shared. And then I'm going to pick a winner on Monday night. And what will happen is you'll win the free 20-minute session with me, and then I'll send you a Calendly link, and then you can pick a time that works best for you. We could sit down and chat about today's topic, adding more structure into your mix, or any of the topics that we've covered since the inception and creation of Day to Day with Dorothy. So let's see, as we close out, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking a break with me. This has been Day to Day with Dorothy. So if you liked this content, please share it. Leave a comment on the gram or the book. And I will see you next Friday afternoon for another episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. Yes, yes. All right. So have a great day at work and have an amazing weekend. We will be chatting soon. Do, 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 do.